Kindly take your seats. Thank you for your courtesy. Uh, Troop Commander, give the order of tikas pahinga.
Gas.
I'd like to acknowledge the presence of former President Joseph Hirito Estrada, Sir, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Executive Secretary Salvador Midaldia, and the other members of the Cabinet, Undersecretary Catalino Coy, Officer in Charge, Department of Interior and Local Government, Police Director General Ronald De La Rosa, AFP Chief of Staff General Eduardo Año, and the Major Service Commanders, our outstanding PNP awardees for 2017, I bring with me the warm felicitations of the Filipino people and of the entire country for your service to the country. Mga opisyal at empleyado ng Philippine National Police, mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, mga mahal kong kababayan. As usual, I have only 2 pages of speeches here. I will finish this in about 1 minute and 2 seconds. Is that all right with you, media? Then after that, we go home. Yeah. You know, I might, if I have time, to read the prepared speech. It is short, but it is almost words of dedication and tears for our policemen. But let me rumble on first to a few nagging questions. There had been a lot of police operations in the past that resulted in the killing of, for example, the Albuera mayor who was killed inside the detention cell, and recently Mayor Parahinog of Osamis City. You know, the police and the military, let us be clear on this, are directly under me. I am your commander-in-chief, and for the police, you are under the local governments, which I direct and supervise and control in the person of your former Police General Catalino Coy. There are many cases of encounters, some killing my policemen, some others killing my soldiers. To date, I have something like, can I have this? You know, policemen killed in police operations, drug-related. I have lost 83 lives of policemen. The AFP, including the raids in Mindanao, where they are met with M16s and bazookas, I have lost 289 assisting the police in the war against drug. And time and again, I've been warning this country about the pitfalls of being a narco-politics country. Albuera, who was controlling the drug syndicates on the eastern side of the Visayas. Ito namang Osamis nito, He was controlling drugs. In one instance, there was about one team of police operating against the drug people. And he never really bothered to ask who they were. And they were mowed down. About 5 policemen in the team ang nabuhay ang team leader. It's a policeman under the hold and sway of the narco politicians, the mayors, governors, the barangay captains against government. In the subsequent investigations, particularly the Albuera mayor, who was killed inside the cell, and while being served with a warrant by the police, prominent of whom was the supposed leader, Colonel Marcos, Major. And it was an operation, Gun Ori, and the police killed the mayor there. When the report came to me, I asked, and I've been asking you to tell me the truth. Whatever your problem may be in connection with your work, tell me the truth. Do not lie to me so that I can help you with the truth. When the news broke out, I asked the people there on the ground, and I said, what really happened? I said that he had a gun, and that he was gunned down by the police while being served the warrant. And others said that he was robbed. It was a case of a rub-out, and he was killed extrajudicially. You know, as the chief of all the police, because the Constitution says the President shall be Commander-in-Chief of all armed forces in the country. So I asked the police side, and they stuck to their story that it was really a case of a gunfire. And I had no reason to believe that the policemen were lying. Albuera mayor killed more than 7 policemen during his time who resisted these illegal criminal syndicates. And nothing happened. In this country before, even if you are a colonel, police, army, and if you're up against politicians, powerful, who have been there for decades, controlling the votes, or no voting is allowed on that day in an election. They were so powerful then because they had the connections upstairs. And all they have to do is call the governor and some, but not all, congressmen, and they would simply pick the phone and call Malacanang and say, Mr. President, stop this because he is our valuable leader in politics. So I thank God that I was elected president. There was no congressman except about my hometown, actually, Davao, and no more. I had two. Another one, a lady from Mindanao also, a governor, but since she's a lady, we will not name her. Basta tumulong lang siya sa akin. So there are about 2 governors of so many, how many? We have about 120 governors. And I had no single congressman, no city or municipal mayor supporting me. I won by 16 million, 6 of which was really my margin against my next opponent. So you would say that I am a president who is freed of the vagaries of politics. Until now, I can tell you, I can bug Malacanang every day if you want. I do not call upon politicians. for favors. I do not allow them to ask for favors from me, especially about in the assignment, in the mobility or movement of police, and I do not entertain a special request for special assignments. Hindi ko ginawa yan. It's all professionals. And every time a governor or a politician would attempt to start or initiate a talk about politics, would always say, if you do not want your police chief, you go to General De La Rosa and talk to him. Do not talk to me, because this time it will be a merit system. And I tell you now, marami ito sila. They're still excavating about how many bodies now? 21? Me, when I was mayor, I was charged for killing, not civilians, not political followers, not priests, or killing criminals. But it was always a thing about performance of duty and life preservation. I never allowed, and you can ask anybody here, if I allowed a policeman to kill a human being kneeling down or their hands astride in surrender. But I've always told you that if you have to shoot them dead. And this is what the human rights idiots are trying to complain. You know, when I say I shoot them dead, I'd prefer to shoot them in the heart or in the head as at the end of the problem. Because if you just arrest them with the money, billions of it, they can always go out, hire the best lawyers. And that is why all these years, the country has always been on the edge when confronted with the cousins of senators and the mayors. So this is what I really did. I called all the mayors. I did not inform you about it. I called all the mayors. No military man, no police was there. All of them just plain mayors, municipal and city. And I told them, do not play with me or suffer the consequences. And General Luot, your general before, was also there. And I pointed out to him, there's one idiot general here who's been at it. I said, you better shape up because you'll suffer the consequences. I'm sure Parahino was there and everybody. So wala tayong sisihan. There's really no remorse for you and for me. Fair warning, I told you. Do not, right when I was mayor for 22 years in Davao. How many? That's an idiotic number, 7,000. How would you kill 7,000? If you place the number at around 400 to 600, yes, during my time as mayor of Davao City, for 22 years, that many, because I was fighting drugs and criminality. And I told them, do not destroy my city because I will kill you. And do not destroy the youth of the land, our only asset, because you are poor, the tomorrow of the Philippines. The other assets, we do not have money. We're always short of money. But with an enlightened, educated society, maybe in the fullness of God's time, we will have a better Philippines. So at this time, it is our sacred duty to protect them. And I told everybody, do not mess up with the, for after all, we are all poor. Because if you are rich there, media, and the troops, lahat dito, and the spectators, if we are rich or we were rich, we would not be standing there under the heat of the sun. And I would not have to bother myself about governance, what happens to this country. But we took this course in life because this is what we believe we can do more. I repeated that warning when I was president. Do not destroy my country because I will kill you. Do not destroy the youth of the land because still I will kill you. Now find me a law, local, international, be it in Somalia or Yemen, that says it is illegal to say those words, I will kill you if you destroy my country and the youth of my land. We are poor. We're not even average earners. So, if you go old, who will buy you the medicines? Who will pay for your hospitalization? Who will buy the oxygens and pay the funeral parlors when we're all old? The cycle of life in the Philippines is always like that. We take care of our young, and they will take care of us when we're old. It's the way of life of Filipinos. Our parents stays with us until kingdom come. Then in the meantime, tayo yung nagbibili ng lahat. The medicines, and even some of us will mortgage the acquired lands that are all conjugal just to see that our parents live. When you do away with the second generation, anong maiwan sa atin? What do you want me to do? Rat in the sidewalk streets? So that has been a fair warning to everybody. And I tell you now, do your duty, and I will protect you. Do not abuse, do not commit crime, not the extrajudicial killing pictured by the human rights, just leave them alone. You know, people judge best when they condemn. That issue, you know, all of you were policemen. At one upon a time, you were assigned in Mindanao. Started as a political issue, picked up nationally by the opposition. Then those idiots there in Europe and in America, pretending to be the moral guardians of this planet called Earth, invented all of these things. Kayo, you were once upon, your chief was once upon a time, General Coy also was once upon a time, he passed by my place as chief of police. Well, there are many of them. Si Apolinario. You can ask them frankly, did I ever order them to kill a person on bended knees? Just give me one contradictory word and I will step down as president. But you know, the one thing that I really hated, and that's why I give them a bad mouth, because they are so naive and stupid that they come here and visited the Secretary of Justice, who was all along running the show of shabu and illegal drugs inside the prison. And that is what is happening in Mexico and in China. And they are now back with vengeance in us. It's all directed, the mafia does it inside the jail. Yan ang problema dito. And we are helpless. We cannot kill them because they are already inside. We cannot imprison them because they are already in prison. But I would tell everybody, no matter what it takes, there are always consequences. Me, if there is a shootout, if they offer the slightest violent resistance, if you have to shoot them, shoot him in the head. For after all, you have had training about shooting. If they want to put up a violent fight, thereby placing yourself, the lawman, in jeopardy, go for it. That is my order. You feel that your life is in danger, go ahead. Do not come empty-handed. You know, in the case of the policemen who are not charged, Marcos, the Secretary of Justice is here, Vit Aguirre. Not only that he's a Chief Justice, the Justice Secretary, rather. I tell you about the justices who are my classmates. We are all classmates. There are about three of them in government. Two are justices of the Supreme Court. One is our. In a cabinet meeting, I told them, you go for the truth there. I have the theory of the police. Go and find out what's the truth. And he said, from the witnesses we gathered from outside, not from the policemen. He said, it all points to murder. And I said, go ahead. Go ahead, file the case. Hindi ako nakikiusap. Yan, tanongin niyo. I never influenced my Secretary of Justice in saying, you better file a lesser charge. Go ahead, file. Let the courts hear it. Then if they are convicted, it's my turn now. There is a trial, convicted, sentenced, and this is the last step. And there is the president. And if after the trial, if I still find out with all the cross-examinations and all the things, if they are really innocent, I will pardon them. Immediately after the reading of the promulgation of judgment, either for conviction or sabihin ko sa judge, you free him because I just pardoned. Why? Because I believe in his story. Why? Because he is my subordinate. You are all my subordinates, and you are supposed to follow instructions. If I think that your behavior was misinterpreted, or because of politics, or simply they just don't want you, or human talk, especially Parahinog, all those policemen assigned there all these years, some of them who went against his illegal activities were killed. Were a lot of policemen murdered by Mayor Parahinog, including the killers of those policemen with him. I will be visiting Osamis. I will not tell you when, but I will warn the policemen there. Yung kasama ni Parahinog and his cahoots or members of the PNP and who are responsible for the death of the 6 soldiers before, you will have your comeuppance. I will see to it that you too will get a fair share of. And there is the Secretary of Justice, and you can ask him. That's about the only time that we talk about the case of Marcos. He said it points out to murder, fine. Because right in front of me was the chief of all the police. In a cabinet meeting, General Bato is always there. Because when I need some information, I always require them to be present during cabinet meetings. We will do it legally. Convict kayo? Oo, sige, convict mo. Walang problema sa akin yan. But I am giving you advance notice. The Constitution says the President can pardon a criminal, either conditional or absolute, or grant amnesty with the concurrence of Congress, period. It does not even say he can pardon everybody except to himself. It does not say that. So when I sign a pardon for you all, my name will be included in the letters D, Duterte. Ganon lang yan. I will not preside if I get to live for 5 years. over this country with a drug crazed population. I am not about to go on experiment like Colombia and Mexico. All the criminals here, if you insist on a drug war, I will kill you all. I will kill you. That is my warning. Do not destroy my country. We are poor. And as a matter of fact, we are trying not to offend countries because they might suspend their aid and something. That's why I was very frank with some ambassadors. There will never be a time that I'll go to your countries. Because you refuse to understand our problem, I do not think you'll be able to understand anymore. You are so engrossed in the lives of criminals, forgetting the narco politics which could bring this country down. Oh, it's that tethering edge. The lives of those idiots, then, if I kill them 100 a day, will not bring this country down to the dogs. But if you allow politics to enter into the mainstream of the Filipino life, then we are in danger. So, for my take, do not do it during my time. Kayong mga drogista, you will live a little bit longer. You just wait. But never, never. I have shown it, and I will do it, and do it again and again, until I shall have wiped out you from the face of the earth. Yan lang ang tandaan ninyo. So all those, the police chief of, who supervised the killing of Parahinog, and Marcos, who is being prosecuted now, they will have my protection. Not to obstruct justice. I will allow justice to run. But there is a time where the president will have a part of it. And that is where I can assure you, you will have the justice that we all want. Remember that. But do not go into the contraband itself. Like the policemen who are now shortlisted in the killing of so many civilians buried in a cemetery there at the back of the barangay hall. Each of those policemen carry on their head now, I am announcing, 2 million per head. And you are free to go and live. I don't know. You just I'll cut short my speech, sir, so that you'll have a chance for a crack at the 2 million of those idiots of your men that are fucking the Filipino. Yun lang ang iwan. 2 million per head. Dead or alive. Better dead, because I have to pay for the funeral parlor. That is an added expense. The other, buy rice for the people. Maraming salamat po. This will be the shotgun. It will always be for the forensics. 2 wounds, 2 large wounds. Yung hirap tayo ngayon, I do not have the money yet, but I am ordering the AFP to start the training of about 5,000, and sa police 2,000. I want you self-trained. I do not have the luxury of waiting, but we are not as yet really but we are there almost. So I have to prepare. I do not have the funds, but I can maybe provide 5 and 2 or 5 and 3. 3 policemen, self-trained. Just the one that my twin brother there standing. Pati yung sa Special Forces or Ranger. I want tough and learned soldiers. I want a strong military, a strong armed forces, and a strong police. And when we are there, we'll be able to fight the enemies of the state better and more equipped. I said you will have a priority in governance. And this time, I have disallowed the PNP and the armed forces to buy second-hand arms, airplanes from anywhere. If we do not have the money, we will just fight them with the bolo. But if you want to buy things, the helicopters, I want all of the equipments for you, brand new ones. Thank you.